So I have purchased quite a lot. In total, I bought 25 million. They would actually check the consumption. If they weren't able to see any, then they would cancel your residency. A lot of very powerful, successful people park their money in this place because
I wish it was just us in this bitch, but they can't trust us in this bitch, cause I'm trying to bust nuts in this, Let's keep it on a hush hush in this bitch. I told her she's so pretty, and she just blushed in this bitch. She clutching my I'm adjusting my She husky like mush in this bitch. You must be nuts rushing this. Slow it down like macaroni. I know it sound like Zach and Cody. This life sweet, I mean high key, and you might be.
Welcome to Monaco. Come on in. Alright, so we're back. We're back in Monaco. Maybe the most expensive place on earth. I'm sure that everybody knows that Monaco is a place that attracts a lot of wealth, a lot of opulence, a lot of very powerful, successful people park their money in this place because it is a tax haven. We're here at Hotel Hermitage. Usually when I come here, I stay at Hotel de Paris, but the weekend we've come is actually the Monte Carlo Masters, so it's a very popular tennis match and all the hotels are sold out. So at the last second, this was the best that we could do. We have a beautiful suite here in this hotel. It's a very nice vintage style of room. One of my favorite hotels in the world is actually the Four Seasons in St. Petersburg, Russia. They have one of the most insane historic hotels. This is a very historic hotel, and you can tell as you're walking through here that this place has a very special energy. Just like all of Monaco does, you know, Monaco has a very specific type of energy, and you're either gonna come here and love it, or you're gonna come here and hate it. But the best for last is this view. Insane view. Look at these mountains. Imagine living up there like you've got your apartment in the clouds. That'll be crazy, right? Here they're already setting up for Formula One. Formula One is in a couple of weeks. I think one of the biggest events that Monaco is famous for. And funny enough, on all the days that we arrive here, it's raining. So the weather's not too good today, but every single time I've come to Monaco, the weather's always been amazing. It's crazy sitting in Monaco right now. I think that Monaco is a bucket list destination for so many people. It's a cool place to be. Now I have come here before, but I feel like I didn't give it a good enough chance. I didn't spend enough time here. I didn't see enough. And so now I've come back here with the intention to spend a little bit more time here to see whether I could potentially get myself a place here and spend a few months of the year here. I've been contemplating doing the residency, getting bank accounts and going through that process. I wouldn't full-time live in Monaco. I think that I couldn't spend all year here, but I think that there are some pros and cons to this place. There's not too many cities that have the mountains and the sea, and if you can have mountains and water in one place, that's an epic combo. Obviously a lot of amazing history here, but this place does attract a lot of very interesting characters, and it tends to lean on the older demographic. So if you're coming here and you're a little bit younger, you may not feel like you can fully fit in because maybe the social aspect is going to be harder to integrate into. I feel like if you're younger, you've got to be like in your teenage years so that you can go to high school and mingle with the locals here. But if you're coming here and you're in your 20s or 30s and you are trying to make friends and network, I feel like it might be a little bit tough. Dubai is a lot easier because Dubai is attracting a very young crowd that are all going there with one goal, very ambitious, very hungry. And I feel like Monaco is a place that you come when you've already accomplished everything. You've accomplished it, you want to chill out now, and this may be one of the best places to come, park your money, live in a safe place so you don't have to worry about crime too much. I know that I can walk around with watches and jewelry and not have to stress too much, and you are so close to the rest of Europe. So hop to the airport, hop on a flight, and you can be anywhere in Europe, all whilst living in a tax-free destination. There's no place like Monaco. It's one of the most unique places on earth, and so I'm here to spend a little bit more time, check it out, and see whether I could see myself being based here. All right, Monaco, it's time to put some miles in the bank. I'm tired, I'm stressed, but it doesn't matter. And unlike that boat, I am in a rush, so it's gonna be a quick one today. So let's put some miles in the bank. Hey Siri, play something lit.
I know that they didn't want to feed us.
See, now it all makes sense. If I go put 10 on a rollie, I make sure that I pay mum's rent. Shit, I was like you with the feelers, all I ever knew was a pad and a pen. I wouldn't ever let vials slide. No. Best know won't happen again. I scam and I rap and I'm scamming.
Alright, run's finished. We're gonna go into my favorite coffee shop in the world. Best quality coffee that exists. If you haven't been here, I'm telling you, this is number one. You might not find it in your city because it is very hard to find, but we've gotten lucky today and we found one of the best coffee roasters in the world, Starbucks. Run was actually pretty tough because it's so many hills around here, so I actually feel a little bit tired. Usually I feel charged after run.
Wow, is that 4.2 million euros for 65 square meters?
It's a lot of money, but what you're paying for in Monaco, you're not paying for the space. You're not paying for the size of the apartment. I feel like you're paying more for the lifestyle. You're paying for the access that this place gets you, and you're also paying for the residency. I've been researching a lot, like the process of how to do the residency here, and it's not as straightforward as a place like Dubai. Dubai is insanely easy for anybody that wants to just become a resident there and go straight to 0% tax overnight. You know, you see all these people from third world countries moving over that don't really need that much to start it off. Monaco, it's a little bit more of a process. So in Monaco, the first step is that you need to either rent or buy property. Rent, it's very expensive. So if you want to get something even half decent, you're going to probably have to pay bare minimum like 7,000 to 10,000 euros per month. And that's going to be, I'd say, for a below average place. But that's just getting your foot in the door. Once you get to the bank, you then show them your property, and then they're going to ask you for a deposit from anywhere between 500,000 to 5 million euros. You're going to have to park that money in the bank. That means that that money can never leave the bank account, because that money is going to be the reason that you're able to get a residency. And that's why in Monaco, you need a lot of capital to become a resident here. Also, I heard from some friends that some people would come here and they do these steps. They'd get the property, they'd get the bank account, then they'd never spend time in the property because the property was just in order to try and get the residency. And so they would actually check the consumption of your electricity or your water in your apartment. If they weren't able to see any, then they would cancel your residency. Then apparently people started hiring people to go into their apartments, turn the water on, turn the lights on and off, just to have some consumption so it can seem like somebody's actually living there. So it's a very complicated process, and I think that you have to really come here and fall in love with Monaco if you want to go through that, versus just going straight to Dubai and doing it very quickly and easy.
Do you think you'll move here?
I don't think I'll move here, but I am contemplating getting a place and spending some time here, like to base myself here for a few months of the year. The next time I come here, I want to do some walkthrough, some properties. So if anybody watching this is a real estate agent in Monaco, definitely hit me up, because next time I want to come here properly and see some places and see whether I could have this as one of the bases. I think having such close proximity to so many cities in Europe is definitely a big bonus. And so I wouldn't mind, you know, in the summertime in Dubai to have a base here as well. So let's see what happens. Something else that I was actually buying over the last few weeks was the Australian dollar. So it got beaten up pretty badly, obviously, because it is correlated with what's going on in China. The euro probably would have been a smarter choice, but I decided to go into the Australian dollar. So I have purchased quite a lot and I got some pretty good entries.
How much is that?
It's about, I have to check. In total, I bought 25 million Australian dollars, and the Australian dollar today is up very slightly, 0.56%. You can see here. So my entry was around 61, 60, 61, 61.5. I don't trade currencies. It's more, again, as a long-term thing. It could take time, but getting the Australian dollar at 61 cents, you know, it's only a matter of years. That's something that I'm willing to hold for years. That is very low risk, in my opinion. It's not very volatile, and it will, guaranteed, in the future go up. Now, it's not massive returns like stocks or crypto, but when you're holding a lot, sometimes I hold $50 million in a currency. If I'm holding $50 million of a currency and that moves 1% in a day, that's a lot. But if you're investing $50,000 into a currency and like today it's up 0.5%, it's not really going to do much for you, and it may not even beat inflation at the end of the year if it doesn't move that much. So this only works with large amounts of money, and I just thought that it was a little bit battered. It even hit 59 cents. When I started to see some headlines change the narrative in a more positive direction, then I started to enter in. So let's see what's going to happen. I could close it as well, depending on what we see.
people from Sir Gustave Eiffel, like La Tour Eiffel Tower. It's amazing. It's
Same
beautiful.
designer as Eiffel Tower.
Yeah, yes, it's a beautiful for that. If you want the pictures for your memories, you can ask me when you want.
I had the worst sleep I've had in many months because this hotel, the soundproofing is so bad. You can hear people's footsteps from above and you can hear people talking from the room next door. Even though I'm in a big suite, somehow the room next door, I could hear them all night and they were up till like 5 a.m. So I only slept at 5 and now what time is it? Like
9 o'clock.
4 hours, not enough for me. Now I've got to have this coffee. It's the only thing that's going to save me for the rest of today. So this weekend in the stock market was insane. On Saturday night, they announced that Chinese tariffs were going to be removed for certain industries and everyone was going to go crazy and it was looking like we were going to have another massive rally day. I'm sure stocks would have gone 10-20%. But of course, as usual, Trump comes out last night, a few hours before futures open and basically says that's not true. We're not reducing tariffs on those products. So now pre-market is still up, but it's nothing like it was before. And the euro, surprisingly, 1.14. That means it costs an extra 14% to be in Europe right now. Anything that you swipe, anything that you buy, if you got US dollars, is now another 14%.
What about the Australian dollar?
So if you've got Australian dollars and you're going to Europe, it's now 45% less valuable than the EU, which is nuts. But if you got euros and you go to Australia, you're now getting 80% more. Some big savings. So any Europeans watching, maybe time to head to Australia, go for a nice little vacation, Bondi Beach, Opera House. What else can they go do?
That's about it.
It's the only things, the two things you can do in Australia.
Where are we going now?
We're going to the Monte Carlo Masters, which is a tennis tournament. It's the finals today, and a lot of people may not know this, but I'm a big tennis fan. I love tennis, it's probably my favorite sport. Yeah, we were here at the same time, so we were like, fuck it, why don't we just go? Now we're on our way to the venue, and we're gonna go watch Carlos Alcaraz and this Italian guy. Actually, when I was younger, when I was like 22, 23, I started to play tennis. Like I didn't play as a kid, and when I was playing people that were kind of on my same level, I noticed that I was a little bit above average. I remember that I got so into it, I got so passionate about playing. I started asking a lot of people. I said, if I was to go hire the absolute best coaches in the world, like let's say I went and poached Nadal's coach and Djokovic's coach and I just paid them a crazy amount of money, would I be able to, within like 2 or 3 years of absolutely dedicating myself every single day for multiple years, would I be able to potentially beat somebody in the top 250? Every single person I asked told me no. I asked a lot of people that had a lot of experience. I even asked Nick Kyrgios. Nick Kyrgios said, not possible. And I said, how is it not possible? If I dedicate myself for let's say 3 years with the absolute craziest coaches in the world, how would I not be able to just win one match? And they said, because when you start young, you just have a crazy advantage. And when you start too late, you just cannot compete with somebody that has that muscle memory from such a young age. Even if you have the best of the best, tennis is not a sport that you can start late, but everybody shattered my dream, so I didn't end up pursuing it. So yeah, now we're on our way to go watch the tennis. What's up? We're in Monaco Grand Finals. Nice experience, crazy venue. Time. And it's time. Time to get back to the match.
Baby girl, be easy. I'll hold your hand, but still be breezy. 2K23, LON Weezy. Fuck FaceTime, come see me in 3D. Mike, yeah, excellent. Pop town, play fair. Let's hold hands on the block, cause it's safe there. We can smoke blunts in the nice rich penthouse. Bet you thought I was gonna.
Personally, I actually don't like going to these sorts of matches and these events. I think it's much better chilling on the couch, watching the game with some commentary. Much more relaxing. For me, I prefer it, but I understand some people like to, come for the atmosphere. But for me, I'd rather just watch it like this, way better. So, nice experience, but I definitely would rather be on the couch at home watching it.
Bro got nicked in the team with a brick. Just giving tree in a bit. Man, this bro got the same for twos. He's pissed off, but it is what it is. These rallies can't know we did what we did. Trust, can't even get him a whip from a country boy to a country boy. Rallies can't know I live where I live.
Alright guys, that's it. Monaco's come to an end. Now I'm going to be heading back to the south of France for one more week. Look, I think Monaco is a great place, but it's more for people that are into this kind of lifestyle. It's for very specific individuals. At the moment, I'm not sure whether I could see myself having a base here. I definitely need to come back here, spend a little bit more time. I want to get a real estate agent to show me around and show me some places, and specifically show me some more quiet areas, because a lot of the areas that I've seen so far are very busy and chaotic. There's construction construction going on almost everywhere. And for me, I want like a really chill, peaceful life. So I'd love to see some places that are in some more quiet areas, if that exists here, you know? So I look forward to seeing that next time. If you're not, subscribe, like, comment, and see you in the next one.